Hello everyone, superseiji 7 here, and as promised, I'm going to give you my official ROH review for this week. ROH was this past Saturday night from 10 to 11. I'll be doing the ROH TV show, not the live broadcast. Unfortunately, I can't get access to that. So every week I'll be giving my opinion on, the show. I'll be giving my review, and I'll start small. That's why I'm just starting with ROH, and later on I'll get to the the bigger shows, the TNA Impact Wrestling and the WWE Monday Night Raw and such. But for now, let me give my review for this week's show, and I'll try to be quick about it. This week, like I said, it's an hour long. This week the show started with Michael Elgin versus what was his name? Michael Elgin versus Will Ferrara. Match lasted about 6-7 minutes. It was mostly dominated by Elgin. For the most part, Ferrara tried to mount some offense, a few punches in case, but Michael Elgin just kind of no-sold everything. And the match ended with a power bomb into the corner, combined with a sit-out power bomb for the win. Like I said, match was about 6-7 minutes long. I give the match about a 3-star out of 5-star ranking, maybe 2.5. Let it go 2.5. The next match was the return of War Machine against two guys. I forget their names. They were two jobbers. War Machine, Raymond Rowe, and Hanson. The match didn't even last 4 minutes. It was a complete squash match. War Machine won the match with a sick-looking combination of a backdrop into a leg drop from the top rope for the 3 count. Like I said, real quick match. War Machine looked real impressive. After the match, Michael Elgin came out, kind of cut a short promo, basically saying he was frustrated that ROH punished him. And then he would go on to challenge War Machine to a 2-on-1 handicap match. So there we have an impromptu 2-on-1 handicap match. So the match itself didn't last very long. Mostly saw double teams from War Machine on to Michael Elgin. The match ended when on the outside, Raymond Rowe went after Michael Elgin, and Michael Elgin hits him with a steel chair for the disqualification finish. The match didn't last all that long, so I'm not going to rank that one. The next match, we have ACH versus QT Marshall. Excuse me. We have ACH versus QT Marshall. Pretty nice match. It was the typical speed versus power match. The match lasted a good 7-8 minutes. It was back and forth for a lot of it. It was ACH's speed and agility versus QT Marshall's power. The match ended when QT Marshall tried to do ACH's finisher, the 450 splash, and ACH moved out of the way. Marshall kind of hurt his leg, and ACH hits his finisher from 3 count and the win. A pretty good match. I gave it about a 3.5 out of 5, or 3.5 stars out of 5. After the match, the Decade comes out, BJ Whitmer, Adam Page, and their new errand boy, if you will, Kobe Carino. And they basically taunt ACH, saying that he got a lot of opportunities he didn't deserve, and kind of took shots at him, including a shot about his mother was ashamed of him and whatnot. Anyway, ACH got mad, and he gets attacked from behind by the Decade, and they ended up beating on him. So that's the end of that segment. And the final match of the night was a real good match between Mark Briscoe and the IWGP Heavyweight Champion AJ Styles. A real fluid match, real good match all around. Very technically sound match. Obviously, you're going to get that from AJ. Also, Mark Briscoe had a lot of good moves in that match as well. He held his own, which is surprising. Well, not surprising, but I think of Mark Briscoe as more of a tag team specialist. It was a real good match all around. Lasted about 15 minutes. The match ended with AJ Styles countering the elbow from the top by putting his knees up. Mark Briscoe his elbows land into AJ's knees. AJ hits him with a brainbuster, and then they Styles clash for the finish and the win. It was a real good match. Real good match. I give it a 4-star match. That's a 4-star match, all around. So the match ends with, AJ Styles and Mark Briscoe shaking hands as they did before the match. And like I said, it was a real good, technically sound match all around. So that was the show. It was only about an hour long. I was trying to make this review quick. So, all in all, I gave the show 7 out of 10. Like I said, it's only an hour long, but they focus more on wrestling than they do promos, so you're not going to get too much. But anyway, that's my first review. I hope you enjoyed it. Try to make it quick here. I'll try to do these reviews like every week or so, and then later on, like I said, I'll get to the bigger shows like the TNA and WWE. So, hope you enjoyed this little review. I'll try to do more, and see you again next time.